Hi, I am Dr. O'Gwyn, and I'm going to ask you to reconsider, what does it mean to feel stiff? Or does feeling stiff actually correlate to being stiff? So some new research has come out, and they have tried to answer this question, or at least give us a little bit of insight. Here's what they found. They took people who report, I feel stiff all of the time. I have these neck pains, these back pains, but most importantly, my joints feel like they're stiff and restricted. And then they, of course, take people who don't have those sensations, don't feel like that. Objectively did a lot of measurements with ranges of motion and muscle tones and things like that. Really, they found there's no significant difference between these people. The people who say they feel stiff, they're not objectively stiffer or more tight or more restricted than the people who don't report that. What they did find, though, were that the people who report that they feel stiff, they have a protective mechanism, or they over-respond to forces applied to their spine. And what that suggests is that they actually might have a lack of coordination or some kind of instability where their muscles are doing this protective response because they don't trust the person to do certain movements, quick movements, or move too far into certain ranges. Now, this feeling of being stiff all of the time actually makes them want to stretch, but that might not be what they need the most. So this research got me thinking, in my practice, what do I see? What are the differences, say, between my strength athletes, people who lift a lot, versus my people who do yoga and stretch a lot? And when I really started to think about it, my strength athletes, they'll come in for injuries. I've injured myself and I want you to help me manage this injury. However, they hardly ever tell me, matter of fact, I don't think they ever tell me, I feel stiff, I feel restricted, I feel like I need to stretch all of the time and I can't stretch this stiffness away. However, the people who stretch a lot and they're always doing lots of stretches, or people who do yoga, and especially yoga that really emphasizes flexibility over strengthening, they usually tell me that they feel stiff all of the time. They're always trying to stretch. So some other research talking about knots. You get muscle knots, or what they call trigger points. They've actually found that trigger points are, it's like this focal area of congestion and maybe this hyper knotted up, tense muscle, but it's a very focal spot. It's a small spot, but outside of that, the outside muscle fibers are actually weakened and elongated. So if you do more strengthening exercises, those knots will actually go away and stay away. So kind of putting all of this together, if you're the kind of person who feels like you can't stretch enough, you feel really stiff, you feel really tight. However, if you're honest with yourself and say, I actually have a pretty good range of motion. I mean, I can move my limbs, my hips, and my spine in a pretty good range. You might want to discontinue the stretching. Some things that might work better are strengthening or stability exercises. However, I would recommend that you get with somebody and find somebody who can show you the best exercises for you. You don't want to just go in there and randomly, generically do exercises. You want to find the exercises that are going to be specific for you and address your imbalances or weaknesses. The other thing is doing things like trigger point therapy, myofascial release, these different manual therapies. They can definitely help get rid of the knots. They can increase the blood flow and things like that. So it is a good way to start the process of feeling better, but it is the strengthening that will give you the long-term results. So as always, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. And on the YouTube channel here, I will put some links to this study and kind of our myofascial release page so that you can learn more. And I hope you enjoyed and learned something new today.